With a brand new year comes brand new events in the YouTube boxing scene that we can't wait to see. With Misfits picking up steam and bringing life back to YouTube boxing in 2022, as well as signing a 5-year deal with DAZN, there will undoubtedly be many more events to come in 2023. We already have Misfits Series 5 announced with Jay Swingler headlining, along with King Kenny and Deen the Great on the undercard fights. As we prepare for a year full of events, we can't help but give our predictions and thoughts on who should fight who in 2023. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Logan Paul versus JMX. The return of Logan Paul back to the boxing ring is something many fans arguably want to see. After his fight with Floyd Mayweather in June of 2021, Logan hasn't fought anyone other than in WWE, and we're sure he's eager to add at least one win to his record. The best opponent for him to fight in 2023, in our opinion, is JMX, if he wants to add that dub. Logan actually came close to fighting JMX in MMA originally before the virus, but it never happened. However, JMX still proves to be a decent opponent for Logan in the boxing ring, considering that Logan hasn't really been training for boxing recently, and he has been recovering from his injury, which resulted from his fight with Roman Reigns in WWE. It also makes sense since JMX has been calling out both Paul brothers for a while now, with his recent call-out after his win over Genty. This fight could help Logan get some ring rust off and reintroduce his name back to the YouTube boxing scene. We could see this as a potential headline fight, as it would be easy to sell it with being Logan's comeback. With Logan being business partners with KSI, it would also make the most sense for this fight to happen on a Misfits event. Swarmz versus Pineda. What might be the best matchup in boxing history. We believe a fight between Swarmz and Pineda would be historical, as both fighters failed to secure a win over KSI on the same night. They were able to redeem themselves on January 14th in Misfits Series 4. Swarmz successfully defeated his opponent Ryan Taylor with a single jab, breaking his orbital bone and winning via doctor stoppage. Pineda, on the other hand, was a mystery guest and showcased his true talent as a boxer against B-Dave. He came out and showed the world a whole new fighter with heart and the dedication to win. Both fighters have fought in the same ring twice now, so it makes sense for them to share the ring together in the battle of the century. Swarmz, with his ability to take a man out with a single punch, paired against Pineda's unmatched boxing skills, make this a top fight we want to see happen in 2023. We wouldn't be surprised to see this fight take place on a future Misfits event as one of the opening bouts. DAZN versus King Kenny. This one's probably going to be a controversial one. Now, we know DAZN isn't the best boxer if you take a look at his record. However, in recent years, he has drastically improved with his entire attitude towards the sport. After finally securing a victory over Fuzi, DAZN still has a way to prove himself, and who better to fight next than King Kenny? Kenny's professional record is 2-1, and with 2 of his fights having a controversial ending on who actually won, his win with Temper was overturned, adding his first loss to his record. However, many argue that he lost his fight with Faye Sensei. DAZN, on the other hand, has a 1-3 record, with 2 of those losses being against Vinny Hacker and Alex Wasabi. These losses really damaged DAZN's reputation, as these fights were supposed to be easy for him, especially after seeing what he did to Jake in his very first fight. If he is able to beat someone like King Kenny, he will definitely bring more respect to his name. We know this fight could pose to be a difficult one for DAZN, considering Kenny's opponents have been much tougher than DAZN. However, we believe in the tank. With his current shift in attitude towards boxing, we are sure DAZN will train his hardest in order to secure the win. If he is able to beat Kenny, he'll definitely move his name up in the YouTube boxing scene and gain the respect he deserves. If you're enjoying this video, please drop a like and consider subscribing for more content just like this. Deen versus Walid 2. After witnessing potentially the best technical YouTube boxing fight of all time, Deen the Great and Walid needs to see a rematch in 2023, displaying the best boxing performance we have seen to date. It can be argued as to who actually won this fight. Deen had been knocked down once in the first round, which wasn't counted, and got knocked out 2 more times in the second round. Walid was putting the pressure on him with his left hooks throughout the entire fight and was on track to win points-wise. However, in the third round, Deen managed to find the great power within and landed an insane right hand, sending Walid to the canvas. The controversy with this fight comes after the knockdown, when Walid turns his back on the referee during the countdown, which results in the referee calling the match in favor of Deen the Great. After seeing this fight, it's hard not to agree that we need to see these two back in the ring in 2023 for the final showdown. Slim versus Gibb. Probably the fight everyone can agree that we need to see in 2023 is Slim versus Gibb. Both fighters have had a successful 2022, with Gibb only fighting once, but putting on an absolute show, knocking out Austin McBroom and deleting Social Gloves from existence. Then there's Slim, who went insane and knocked out FaZe Temper in a last-minute fight, fought and beat Ryan Taylor, and went to war with Tom Zanetti, and once again secured the dub. It made sense as to why Gibb didn't want to fight Slim before, as he didn't have much experience under his belt. But now that Slim has made a big name for himself in boxing, it makes the most sense to make this fight happen out of any on this list. If Slim is to win, it opens many possible fights for him, such as one with Salt Papi, or maybe even KSI. For Gibb, it would be a huge win, as he would be taking out a Misfits favorite and could potentially become a threat in the league. Being one of YouTube boxing's most anticipated fights, we need to see this fight in 2023 before the hype is all gone. KSI versus Salt Papi. Now, we all know everyone wants to finally see the long-awaited KSI versus Jake Paul finally happen in 2023. However, we don't think it will happen that soon. We believe KSI needs a couple more fights under his belt before he faces the problem child, as Jake has fought names such as Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and soon Tommy Fury. It would make sense for JJ to fight a high-caliber fighter as well before they face each other. In comes Salt Papi. Salt Papi would be the most skilled opponent JJ would fight thus far, and would be an excellent stepping stone as he is regarded as one of the best in YouTube boxing. Some even believe that Papi is the best, and that he deserves to have a headline fight with KSI or Jake. The only issue is KSI has a lot to lose, as his entire narrative is to beat Jake and continue his legacy. But if Papi beats JJ, he would lose any chance he has to fight Jake, as he wouldn't be interested anymore. It would be an absolute upset, and would completely change the course of his boxing career and would destroy his legacy, as he calls it. That's why we believe this fight needs to happen in 2023. With both fighters being regarded as the best in the scene, why shouldn't JJ fight Papi, considering Jake has fought some tough opponents himself? Pineda and Swarmz in one night is very impressive, but KSI has the potential to beat much better fighters, and we think he needs to test himself before fighting either of the Paul brothers. Even if this fight doesn't happen, we hope to see JJ fight more than once in 2023. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Aside from KSI, Jake versus Tommy Fury is one of the most anticipated fights in YouTube boxing. This fight will be a make or break for both fighters' career, which is why it's at the top of our list. As Jake has been advancing his boxing career, it makes sense for him to finally fight a real professional boxer. He's actually tried to fight Tommy Fury on 2 previous occasions, but it's been apparent that the boxer's been ducking Jake. His last excuse was being unable to enter the US. However, it's finally been announced for the 3rd time that the two will be fighting in Saudi Arabia on February 26. This eliminates any problems with travel, and with Tommy's baby now born, there should be no excuses as to why this fight should not happen. If Jake is able to beat Tommy Fury, it would shut anyone up that says Jake isn't a real boxer and would ruin Fury's legacy. His own father has even tweeted, saying that if Tommy loses, he should just stay wherever the fight is located and not even come home. On the flip side, if Tommy Fury should win, this would destroy Jake's boxing record, but most likely would hurt him even more mentally, as winning is so essential to him. Losing would take from all he's been building up, and it may cause people to be less interested in watching Jake fight again. A big reason many people love watching him fight is quite frankly to see him get knocked out. And if Fury gets the job done, then he would put an end to Jake's big run in the sport. This is exactly what we need, as Jake will finally be pushing himself to fight more experienced fighters, which brings so much more excitement to the YouTube boxing scene.